During times of war, tensions are heightened to their boiling point as soldiers are constantly on edge waiting for the enemy to strike when they least expect it. But what happens when that attack is far from human? Today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be going over 5 unique cryptid monster encounters that soldiers faced during times of war. Rock apes in Vietnam. As the American GIs battled through the dense jungles of Vietnam, the US government began a defoliation program to assist in the jungle warfare and clear out the native plant life in war-torn areas. Although the lasting effects of Agent Orange are still being uncovered in the modern day, with a wide range of birth defects, brain damage, heart damage, and cancer-causing agents, there appears to have been an unforeseen consequence of Agent Orange during the Vietnam War. Referred to by American soldiers as rock apes, consistent reports were made by a wide number of platoons of giant humanoid creatures fleeing the dying jungles of Vietnam and encountering the American GIs with sticks and rocks in battle. One veteran wrote the following report. Serving with the 101st Airborne in the mountains of Vietnam, I saw them, the rock apes, on many occasions. They were as large as a big man and usually were in small groups of 2 to 3, unlike Bigfoot, but were bigger than most men and smaller than Bigfoot. They were spotted on days, but would also set off our trip flares at night. This could very well be evidence that Bigfoot-like species inhabits the jungles of Vietnam and, under threat of their environment collapsing, came out of their hidden regions and battled with soldiers to save their forests, only to relocate to other jungles unaffected by the Agent Orange defoliant. World War II Airman UFO Encounter. Some of the most terrifying dogfights during wartime were first experienced during the Second World War, with desperate Japanese pilots committing kamikaze just to get a leg up on the war. German fighter planes pushing the boundaries of flight technologies to fly faster and further than previously theorized possible. Underground British factories piecing together advanced fighter jets with dwindling resources for dramatic last stands, and US Air Force pilots holding their own in some of the largest aerial bombers that had ever been constructed in history. All of these advancements failed in comparison, however, to the strange technological advances witnessed by United States airmen that claimed to have witnessed countless encounters with unidentified flying objects. Described as cigar-shaped rocket-like crafts, on the late November evening back in 1944, the 415th Night Fighter Squadron reported seeing a number of peculiar lights along the Rhine Valley Ridge, north of the French-German border. The report detailed that there were about 81 lights in a row that emanated a fiery orange glow. As the Night Fighter Squadron turned to attack the craft, the lights faded and appeared to have disappeared from the region entirely. This was one of a countless number of military reports that described similar-looking unidentified flying objects, with one of the strangest reports being the witness account of Lieutenant Samuel A. Krasny. According to Krasny's report, as he was flying, he noticed a large, wingless cigar-shaped object with a reddish glow floating alongside him just a few yards off the plane's wingtip, seemingly attached by an invisible wire maintaining a perfect distance and speed. Immediately, Krasny went into evasive maneuvers and rolled the plane while dropping down to get away from the craft, only to witness the cigar-shaped object follow his maneuvers perfectly and maintain its position relative to his airplane with perfect cadence. After several minutes of additional maneuvers, Krasny said that the object suddenly faded in color and shot off at an incredible impulse speed away from his craft before disappearing from sight. These lights were later provided the name of Foo Fighters by the airmen witnessed in reference to Smokey Stover's comics that would say, "Where there's food, there's fire," reminiscent of the strange craft's fiery color. The invasion of Japan. Described in ancient Japanese mythology as a massive sea dragon, the Ryujin has been a recurring creature across a number of Japanese legends that span several centuries throughout the island nation's history. Historical experts dismiss the validity of the Ryujin having been a recorded undiscovered creature, as the ancient Japanese legends describe the sea dragon as a godlike figure that brought about wealth and good fortune. Interestingly enough, the Ryujin is recorded by the Japanese enemy Kublai Khan as having been the main deterrent against his Mongolian flotilla, wiping out his fleet before they could step foot on Japanese soil. This could very well mean that the Ryujin was a native species of large sea serpent that was well known to the native Japanese fishermen but unknown to foreign vessels. The Brosno Dragon. There seems to be a number of strange urban legends surrounding that of the Brosno Lake, located in western Russia, near the town of Andreapol, that features the telling of a massive underwater dragon that has made its appearance several times all throughout history. According to the old Russian folklore, during the 13th century, when the Tatar-Mongol army was making its advancements through the region nearby Brosno Lake on their way towards Novgorod, they had stopped at the lake to create a temporary rest stop for the army, as well as establish a temporary stronghold at the location to assist future army deployments throughout the region. As the horses of the army went down into the lake to drink water, the soldiers detailed that a massive roaring creature had come out of the lake and onto the shores, devouring the horses in single bites and tearing apart soldiers as if they were nothing but clay pottery. Over several centuries, there would be continued stories surrounding the lake that told of sand islands or sand mounds forming out in the lake that many believed to have been mounds created by the dragon itself to lay eggs. When fishermen would attempt to journey towards this island, they would be devoured whole as a large mouth would open up beneath them, sucking the boat and water into its massive mouth. According to further legends stretching back over the course of the last century, Russians claimed that Nazi soldiers were unable to advance past the region near Brosno Lake due to their tests of the waters and the awakening of the large beast. Some claim that perhaps the Nazi soldiers were interested in making attempts to tame the beast, but were soon met with a terrible surprise as the beast began to devour soldiers that got too close to the lake. Today, Brosno Lake is responsible for a large number of disappearances, including that of talented and skilled fishermen that seem to disappear without a trace of what happened to them. Encounters with the U28 Creature. During the early years of World War I, there was a sighting of a strange monster out in the open ocean that would later be referred to as the U28 Creature. According to the reports surrounding the creature, the encounter occurred on the 30th of July back in 1915, when a German U-boat commander known as Commander Freya George G. von Forstner wrote a detailed report following his attack against the British steamer, the Iberian, claiming that after the steamer sank, there appeared to be a large aquatic animal described as being approximately 80 feet in length and similar to that as a large crocodile. The report is quoted as stating the following: "At that moment I had with me in the conning tower 6 of my officers of the watch, including the chief engineer, the navigator, and the helmsman. Simultaneously we all drew in one another's attention to this wonder of the seas, which was writhing and struggling among the debris. We were unable to identify the creature, but all of us agreed that it resembled an aquatic crocodile, which was about 60 feet long, with 4 limbs resembling large webbed feet, a long pointed tail, and a head which also tapered to a point. Unfortunately, we were not able to take a photograph, for the animal sank out of sight after 10 or 15 seconds. Cryptozoologists believe reports of the U-28 monster directly matches the whale-eater cryptid of centuries-old encounters. Over the past 8 centuries, consistent sightings of a creature known as the whale-eater have been made all across the world, with notable sightings being made well into the modern day. The creature has been described as being an estimated 43 feet in length, having an elongated head, a short neck, a crocodile-like body, 4 flippers for locomotion, and a short tail. Since the 13th century, sailors have claimed fantastic stories of massive sea monsters that are known for hunting down and eating whales of all sizes. Cryptozoologists have speculated that the whale-eater is a surviving member of the Pliosaurus marine reptile species that was estimated to have gone extinct about 65 million years ago. With its crocodile-like appearance, the whale-eater would more than accurately fit the description of the pliosaur and would explain the large number of sightings made throughout history. Additionally, on the 13th of August 2012, a 65-foot whale was found beached on the sandy coast of St. Austell. Before efforts could be made to assist the whale, the creature suddenly died. When experts analysed the whale, they found that there were deep gashes all across the creature's face that looked eerily like a massive single bite mark, with the teeth-like punctures curving evenly into a U-shape across the whale's entire face. One of the reports was quoted as saying, based on the photographic evidence, a creature with huge, long, crocodile-shaped jaws lined with big sharp teeth, attacked the whale. But what do you think of all these terrifying creatures that were encountered during wartime all across history? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.